All right. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Alpha TV. And we are happy that you have spent this evening with us today. Without further ado, I would like to warmly welcome you to this episode. Okay. Let me introduce our speaker for tonight. Our speaker for this introduction to entrepreneurship is a graduate of Master of Science in Computer Science from Batanga State University. He currently serves as the center head at the Batanga State University Center for Technopreneurship and Innovation from 2021 up until the present. His areas of expertise include web development, mobile app development, and GIS mapping. His notable research and development activities include the following: virtualtour.ph, an online virtual reality-based platform for Philippine tourism destinations and cultural heritage sites; Mr. Tour Guide, a cultural adaptive mapping platform using mixed reality; and lastly is the TBI 4.0 Technology Business Incubator 4.0 for Region 4. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speaker for Alpha TV Introduction to Technopreneurship, none other than Mr. John Richard Esguerra.
Hello, good evening, Sir Felix and Alpha TV, Aslex PH. Thank you very much for inviting me here, and we're very happy that we have napaunlakan niyo po. You have invited us here on your platform po to share and make awareness po about the technopreneurship. Allow me po to share my screen. Okay. So na po. Thank you for thank you for attending this webinar. Just to share with you po why kung paano po ako napapunta dito sa startup ecosystem. So Sir Felix, nasabi naman sa akin, na-share naman sa inyo that I'm a graduate of MSCS, and mostly I have a technical background. I started as a web programmer, and until now po yung mga projects ko are related to developing different web solutions. Ngayon for tourism, for tourism naman yung ating tinutulungan ngayon na industry, because the tourism industry has been really greatly affected by the pandemic. And so Ayan, sorry. So yan, wait nyo lang, we'll be launching po the virtual tours for the Mr. Tour Guide platform to for everyone to experience po the different tourism destinations at the comfort of your home. So hindi nyo na kailangan pupunta doon kung meron kayong mga tawag dito, mga hesitations sa baka mahawa kayo sa COVID, or siguro yung mga lolo, yung mga bata na ayaw nyo, lolo at lola yung mga bata na ayaw nyo palabasin ng bahay pero gusto yung gumala, so yun, sa virtual tours village nyo papuntahin. So yeah, as mentioned, wala naman talaga ako sa business, wala akong business background, but the Batanga State University, where I currently affiliated as a professor, wanted to create a different path to our students. So as you all know, Batanga State University has just been declared as the National Engineering University, and we've been producing a lot of top-notch na mga engineers, IT professionals, computer science professionals, and we want to create a different path for them, not just to be an employee of a certain company, but we want them also, we envision them, and we hope that someday they'll be able to gain a lot of experience from the industry and then hopefully create their own companies and create jobs also para naman sa mga susunod na mga young professionals natin. At the same time, solving societal problems, societal perennial problems natin dito. The Philippines has a lot of problems. It's a third world country. So napakadaming opportunities, problems, pero I would like to call them as opportunities and na pwede natin i-solve and i-address. And while we're solving and addressing that problem, we are creating jobs and, nakatulong pa tayo sa maraming tao. Okay? And creating wealth din para sa mga fellow Filipinos natin. So we were funded by the USTP shirt. We were established last 2014, and we've been going to a lot of places like different incubators or accelerators here in the Philippines, and also abroad like in Singapore, Malaysia, and the US, para makita namin kung ano yung dapat ng mga startup support services na pinoprovide namin sa dun sa mga potential na maging startup founders. So just to share with you what's Batanga State University's Center for Technopreneurship and Innovation. So it's a technology business incubator. So pag sinabi natin business incubator, so syempre lahat naman ng mga nag-uumpisa pa lang na magtayo ng sarili nilang negosyo, or as we would like to coin or call them in our ecosystem, we call them a startup. Wala pa talaga silang, or may mga kulang sa tinatayo nila ng mga startups. Kailangan nila ng tulong. They do not have the right network, or they do not have the capital, or kailangan talaga nila ng tulong to access the market or to validate their ideas. So dito sa Business Incubator, tinutulungan namin sila sa ganung mga aspects. We're serving startups within the Calabarzon region. Last 2016, 17, we were recognized by the Regional Development Council as the center for, not the center, but the South Luzon Technology and Entrepreneurship hub po dito sa Calabarzon. So we established po an incubator that not only caters to Batangas State University students, faculty, and employees, but also private individuals who would like to build a startup from Batangas, Cavite, Laguna. And then ngayon, we're expanding na rin in Bicol regions, in Limaropa, and some other parts of the Philippines. We're also technology agnostic. We're not only very particular on what kind of technology. Let's say, for example, hindi kami nakafocus lang sa fintech or sa mga agri-tech or sa electronics lang or sa mga web solutions. So anything basta siya ay technology-based. We were designed po for early stage startups. Ibig sabihin, yung mga startup founders pa lang na may idea pa lang sila pero have not yet executed it. And kailangan pa siyang i-validate or kailangan pa mag-conduct ng survey, ng interviews, ng kanilang mga target market to check whether yung ideas ba nila ay may market viability. So that's the Bat State UCT as a nutshell. Our programs were anchored on 3 pillars. So CTI, collaboration, technopreneurship, and innovation. I'm not sure if some of you pala are students, pero siguro narinig niyo na itong mga programs na ito before sa ating mga awareness campaigns sa CTI. So of course, we collaborate with different government agencies, other TBIs, industry partners, and non-profit organizations in delivering various startup support services. Through this also, we were able to launch in different kinds of programs like yung aming mga design thinking workshops in Calabarzon, Limaropa, and in the Bicol regions, and also trying to help different HAIs here also in the South Luzon, in establishing their own TBI. So as designated also as the lead implementer ng Hey Retreat South Luzon, kami din yung lead ng isang project on building the startup ecosystem, not building but strengthening the startup ecosystem, not only here in Calabarzon but also in the Limaropa and the Bicol regions. So we're partnered with 10 different TBIs. Later I'll share them with you na saan sila. Pero we're partnered with 10 TBIs here in South Luzon para mas magkaroon pa ng awareness about startups. Technopreneurship. So ito yun. This is part of our mandate is to provide a course or a program in our university on how we're going to change the mindsets of our students. That someday, if given enough experience, network, and magkaroon sila ng opportunity to also create their own job. So we've created this Technopreneurship course. We've created a Technopreneurship course, and we offered this to all engineering, science, and technology courses in Batanga State University. And we've also been evangelizing and making awareness also with other HAIs that this is how we are teaching Technopreneurship in our university. And this is actually what we will be tackling today. Okay, kung ano nga ba yung contents, a glimpse of what you will be experiencing if you haven't taken this course. So paano nga ba nag-generate o nakapag-recognize na isang idea, and ano yung mga initial skills and mindset at knowledge na kailangan mo para makapag-start ka na sa sarili mo startup. So it's also our mandate to train our faculty members to teach Technopreneurship. Um, so every year po, we are inviting po at least 50 faculty members to be trained on how to teach Technopreneurship. Bagong faculty man yan or dati nagtuturo ng Technopreneurship, pwede din para ma-retool sila sa bagong mga contents ng Technopreneurship. Okay. And then lastly is yung incubation. So this is the very heart or the very core of the reason why we have a technology business incubator. That is to incubate, startups. And in our incubation program, these are the things that we provide to them. So we provide them access to our facilities. Ano-ano mga facilities yon? For example, mga co-working spaces, locator spaces. Kung wala kang office space, syempre dahil mga students pa lang, wala pa silang capital para pang rent ng mga spaces. So you come to our office and we provide you with a space where you can work on your startup. Our facility is also inside the STEER Hub, the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Environment Research Hub, where the different research centers are located. So if you need technical development or assistance on technical development or on product development, electronics man yan, digital man yan, or something that you would like to fabricate, so merong mga research centers sa loob ng STEER Hub that you can also access under our incubation program. But of course, may mga cost yung paggamit ng facilities nila. Yung sa CTI libre siya during the incubation program. But yung access to sa ibang mga research centers, may bayad na siya. So luckily, for those who are in our incubation program, you are also you can also access our seed capital sa university. Kung ikaw ay estudyante, faculty, or empleyado ng Batanga State University, or kung ikaw ay isang private individual, you're not from Batanga State University, but you have a partner inside, like for example, a partner student or a partner faculty member, you can access our seed capital. We can provide you po at least 50,000 pesos hanggang 500,000 pesos for your a seed capital to your startup. You just have to write a proposal, a funding proposal, which we will assist you on how to write that. We're also providing for legal and admin support, intellectual property rights protection, tailored mentorship, and exposure. So those are the different services that we provide natin sa loob na sa aming incubator. Lahat ng yan for free for the duration of the incubation program. But after that, when you graduate from the incubation program, normally 6 months to 1 year, depending on how quickly you can achieve yung mga milestones na inilagay natin sa inyo sa ating agreement, kasi meron tayong agreement na kailangan pirmahan. Ibayad na yung mga succeeding usage ng mga facilities. But discounted naman siya para sa mga previous incubatees namin. Okay, so we've been talking about startups, pero you might be wondering, ano nga ba ang difference ito sa mga MSMEs? So you probably heard, ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng MSMEs? Can anyone share that here kung merong may idea? What do you mean by MSME? Can we share that sa ating chat for those may idea? What do you mean by MSME? Ito madalas natin narinig to for example. Ayan. Thank you po, Sir Felix. Micro, small, medium enterprises. So that's MSME. Normally, madalas ito marinig sa mga DTI programs or sa mga DOST programs kasi isa ito sa mga target natin ngayon na gustong iangat yung mga MSMEs. So these are permanently established mga standard and successful business models na meron ng mga standard successful business models na pwedeng gayahin. For example, tayo ka ng sarili mong convenience store. Di ba? So, meron ng existing na business model para dyan. Kung gusto magtayo ng sarili mong convenience store. Kunyari, restaurant. Ano pa yung mga MSMEs? For example, mga hardware store, siguro yung mga spa, salon, sari-sari stores. So yan, mga MSMEs yan. So ano kaibahan ito sa startup? Ano nga ba yung startup? So pag sinabi mo startup, these are very very risky na klase ng mga negosyo. They are providing a very unique and profitable business model. Kakaiba yung mga business models nila. These are not standard and usually yung mga business models nila ay hindi pa talaga proven successful. Or pwedeng sa context nila, sa area nila, that's a good business model, successful yun. Pero kapag kin-loan mo sa inyo, it's not working. So, you need to tweak yung business model niya para mag-work siya on your context. Extremely innovative, kakaiba talaga. There are disrupting talaga the industry and highly scalable. Mabilis ito palaguin. But again, very risky. Hindi talaga tayo sure if this will be successful. But if it succeeds, it will provide talaga a very profitable business model. For example, yung isang traditional na convenience store, di ba? So yung convenience store, papasok ka doon, kuha ka ng basket, ilagay mo yung mga pabibilin mo doon, punta ka doon sa cashier, swipe niya, bayad ka through cash or through any kind of payment. Pero how do we innovate that? How do we create a very unique and profitable business model na extremely innovative and highly scalable kaya? So, I don't know if you've heard of Amazon Go. Amazon Go. Ayan po. So this is a convenience store. Yes, convenience store po siya sa US. Convenience store chain sa US at sa UK. Sa labas, parang normal lang siya ng convenience store. Pero pagpasok mo sa loob, cashierless po siya. So, pasok mo sa loob, kuha ka lang ng basket, ilagay mo yung pabibili mo, labas ka na, bayad na yung mga pinamili mo, di ba? Ang galing. They provide a very innovative way on changing your shopping or grocery experience. Still very profitable. Very profitable. At saka, they are powered by artificial intelligence. I mean, basta may kinuha ka from the shelf at nilagay mo sa basket mo, ma-charge siya sa inyo. Pero once na ibinalik mo sa shelf yung kinuha mo sa basket, ma-uncharge siya. So, ganun ka-innovative yung convenience store na yun, yung Amazon Go. So, if we can create, a startup that can disrupt, a certain industry, then i-push natin yun. Lapit kayo sa mga incubators na malapit sa inyo. So, this is also the same with how yung kilala natin na ibang mga kapatid. For example, Facebook, kung paano talaga binago ang social media from the Friendster, di ba? Ibang-iba talaga siya. Or even Twitter, iba-iba din. Ano? Twitter or Instagram. TikTok is now becoming very, very tawag dito, prevalent and very tawag dito, parang successful sa creation ng iba't ibang mga contents. Sa sa una parang YouTube lang siya, no? Nagpo-post pa lang naman ng mga videos, pero these are very short videos na talagang mabilis ka makapag-create ng mga contents, di ba? So kaya sobrang bilis din ng kanyang pag-angat ng popularity, because kahit sino na may mobile phone at may capability to parang on augmented reality or on kumbaga yung mataas yung kumbaga okay yung specs ng kanyang mobile phone para doon sa mga iba't ibang mga multimedia or sa mga filters ay okay na okay yung Twitter, yung TikTok. Okay, so again, a startup is a business that is disrupting the current industry. That's true with Grab, with with Airbnb disrupting the hotel industries or the accommodation industries or the travel industry. Uber, Grab disrupting the usual taxi operator industry. Shopee and Lazada disrupting the whole mall experience. Bakit ka nga naman kailangan pumunta sa mga malls when you can buy everything at the tip of your fingers, di ba? Swipe ka na lang and darating na sa inyong doorsteps ang mga pinamili mo. So, di ba? That's a startup. Anything that is disruptive of the industry and highly profitable and scalable, that's a startup. MSMEs, yun ang difference niya sa mga MSMEs. So as of January 2022, there are 2,147 startups in the Philippines. And these are just some of the notable startups na natin dito sa ating bansa. Of course, we all know Gcash. Gcash is now a unicorn. When we say unicorn po, it has reached na po, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Sir Felix, has received at least $1 billion na ba, o 1 billion peso na 1 billion peso na investment. Sorry. Okay po. Okay. So meron daw konting noise. How's this po? Sorry. Okay. This is the just a quick overview of how the startup, ano yung mga phases ng mga startups. So normally they start with formation, wherein mag-iisip ka ng mga ideas or mga iba't ibang mga opportunities on what market you can enter in, and then you validate that idea, and then here in our incubator we help them grow po and scale up. So this is commonly the yung phases ng ating mga startups. And dito sa Technopreneurship 101, Technopreneurship, we've created a very simple lang na curriculum that will allow the students to experience these phases of the startup. From ideation hanggang sa siya ay ipipitch na natin siya sa isang to a panel of experts, like for example an investor, a CEO, or a startup enabler, or a representative from any startup enabler. So for today's webinar, we'll be talking about the mindset. Ano ba yung tamang mindset natin when we're starting or when we're building a startup. And then I'd like to introduce you to the innovation huddle wherein ito yung mga different activities or phases na kailangan nadadaanan ng mga students natin yung mga kumukuha ng course na ito, from ideation, validation, creation of business model up to the pitching. And then we'll talk about now the different startup support services na pino-provide natin for those who would like to pursue their startup. So yung mga students namin who has yung mga student groups who have potential startup ideas, we bring them to our incubator and then offer them to enter into our incubation program. So let's talk about first the mindset. Okay po. I don't know if you've heard of this, but Dr. Carol Dweck po coined two kinds of mindsets po. The fixed mindset and the growth mindset. So this growth mindset. Ito yung gusto namin na ma-attain ng mga students namin as they go through our Technopreneurship course. Of course, at the beginning siguro, students might have that fixed mindset na ayaw nila ng mga challenges, konting hirap lang ng mga gawain, parang ayaw na nila. Tama na, ayoko na, parang gano'n. Madali sila sumuko, pag mga nakakita sila ng mga obstacles or ng mga hindi madadaling mga activities, madali nila itong sukuan. And hindi sila masyadong they don't see effort as fruitful. Maybe because they are demotivated. Kasi siguro meron silang mga bad experiences, so gusto natin mas-switch natin yung kanilang mindset na yun into growth mindset. So para hindi na sila matakot sa mga challenges na yung mga challenges na dumadating sa kanila. Okay? Siguro minsan feeling nila pagod sila or they want to quit. We would like to tell these students na okay, sige, pwede na magpahinga, pero wag na naman nating susukuan yun. At we also want them to understand na siguro minsan parang nauumay sila sa mga paulit-ulit na mga ginagawa, especially kapag meron kasi kami mga activities na kailangan talagang ulitin or kailangan nilang pagdaanan o kailangan talaga nilang balikan. So kailangan natin gawin yon para ma-master nila yung activity na yon o yung merong certain skill talaga tayo na kailangan makuha from that activity, and gusto nating ma-achieve or ma-learn nila yon, matutunan nila yon. Through this course din, siguro yung mga students natin or mostly hindi na siguro students, pero normal lang naman siguro sa tao na ayaw nila na nakakarinig ng mga bad feedback or mga negative feedback from them. Ako personally, ayoko nakakarinig ng mga negative feedback. Nakaka-down minsan talaga yung mga negative feedback din. And kapag may mga nakikita tayo na ibang mga tao na successful, minsan ay para medyo nai-intimidate siguro tayo. And napapaisip tayo, bakit ang galing-galing nila, Bakit ako at my age, ito pa lang yung na-attain, pero sila at the younger age, ganoon na yung na-attain nila. So parang madaming out, um, yung nakukuha natin out of seeing these kinds of people. But we want the students to also understand that may mga negative feedback kasi na useful. So we want them to learn from these kinds of criticisms. And what I always also share with my students, or I would like to share them with the students is, or sa mga tao na kumukuha ng Technopreneurship course na hindi naman lahat ng negative feedback kailangan natin pagtuunan ng pansin. Especially kung hindi naman ito galing sa mga tao that matters to us. Like, for example, yung family natin or yung customers natin. If that negative feedback did not come from these people, then you might also want to think about if you would want to dwell on that kind of negative feedback or just not to ignore it. Diba? So, if hindi useful yung negative feedback, just ignore them. But if you see some useful negative feedback from the people that matter to you, like your family, friends, or your customers, or from a mentor or a coach, most importantly, you need to understand na kaya mo na-receive itong negative feedback nito because you need to learn something from it. So kailangan mo na siguro mag-reflect mag-reflect ka na siguro sa sarili mo on how you can use that negative feedback to improve yourself or improve the idea of your startup. And then not to be frightened or not to be threatened by the success of others, but to be inspired by them. Kung nagawa nila yon at kung na-attain nila yon, so kaya ko din yon. That's always one thing that I would always want to share with my students, na kung nagawa nila yon, na naging successful sila, kaya nyo din yun. Yun nga lang, just be aware na marami tayong pagdadaanan. Hindi naman namin kayo iiwanan along the way. Just have to bear with us, na talagang magiging mahirap ang proseso. Trust the process. Please just trust the process. Okay. Now, so how do we teach this to our students? So in the beginning of our class, we have these two activities, Rejection Therapy and the 10 peso trading challenge. I don't know if some of our faculty members, or hindi ko lang alam kung may mga faculty members pa dito ba. Ito yung mga pinapagawa namin na mga activities noong wala pang pandemya. But ngayon kasi pandemya, medyo mahirap gawin ito. Rejection Therapy and 10 peso trading challenge. Pero noon, yung wala pa pandemya, we have this Rejection Therapy wherein we ask the students to go out of the university, go out in the public place, and then pick a certain, think of a silly request that you would want to ask a stranger. So ask a silly request that you would want to ask a stranger. So for example, gusto mo magpalibre ng kape sa Starbucks. So that's your rejection therapy. Sige, punta ka sa Starbucks, pila ka doon, and then convince the person after you to na ilibre ka ng isang kape sa Starbucks. O kaya naman, for example, punta ka sa Jollibee or any restaurant, makiupo ka sa mga strangers and then makikain ka sa kanila. Pwede ba yun? Request, di ba? It's a silly request. Or for example, labas ka sa public, magdala ka ng nail cutter, and then can you ask strangers to cut your nails for you? Di ba? That's a very silly request. So anything very silly, anything silly request. So anong turo natin sa mga students ito, gusto natin silang mamanhid talaga sa mga rejection, di ba? Kasi madalas, kung hindi man malinit, ay i-reject ka talaga ng mga taong makakausap mo. Why would I cut your nails, di ba? So that's very silly. Or why would I buy a cup of coffee for you? I don't know, di ba? So it's a very good exercise, and our students are coming into our next class kasi ito assignment namin to eh. So we give this week, and then our students come in the following week and then share their experience. And then we also have the 10 peso trading challenge. This is another activity that we do at the beginning. But ito meron na talaga itong pera na involved kasi kasi kailangan mag-trade ng 3 beses yung mga students namin, and the last trade can be traded to money or pwede nang ibenta, for example, yung kung ano mang na-trade na nila. So very simple lang, they have to buy anything that is worth 10 peso and then trade that item to another item which has a higher value, and then that second item should be traded again to another item which is of a higher value, and then the third item can be sold, or you can, if you want a challenge, trade it to another item with a higher value. And you'll be surprised na pag balik ng mga students namin, kung ano yung mga dala-dala, like yung mga mahaling relo, mahaling pabango, may nagdala ng TV, may nagdala ng mga buko. Sa loob ng klase, it's very silly. And yung mga students namin talaga, tuwan-tuwa sila on this kind of activities. Imagine these are engineering or IT students na wala talagang background of business. Most of them walang background sa business, and it's a very refreshing activity na they don't usually do on their major courses siguro. Na malayo-malayo sa ginagawa nila sa kanilang mga courses, and ibang experience yung nadala nito, no? And one very interesting experience na shinare ng mga estudyante ko is they were able to learn how to get to know their customers or yung targets nila as they go on to trading. So bago, at first parang may makis na reject sila, na rejected yung kanilang mga first or second trades, but because of that rejection, and as they were speaking to the customer or to the target person na kanilang gustong makipag-trade, parang kinikilala nila yung taong ito, and so naiintindihan nila and na-realize nila kung ano yung mga items na kailangan niya that will make that person trade. For example, there was a group of students from a previous Technopreneurship class na meron silang dalang mga tinapa sa palengke. Yun yung parang first trade nila, no? Na-trade nila yung item nila, yung 10 peso item na sa tinapa. And then they went to a rice vendor doon sa palengke, and then they were trying to trade that tinapa or smoked fish. Tama ba ako? Smoked dried fish. And traded to 1 kilogram of rice. But yung rice vendor, sabi niya, nakaw ay hindi naman nakakain ng tinapa ang aking asawa. Kaya hindi siya nakipag-trade doon hindi niya tinrade yung kanyang bigas doon sa tinapa. So parang nakipagkwentuhan pa sila doon sa rice vendor, and they realized na this man is a very selfish person, di ba? Hindi niya inisip ang sarili niya, inisip yung kanyang asawa. So why not think of an item that might make his wife happy? And so ang ginawa niya ay, yung ginawa ng mga estudyante, naghanap sila ng flower shop doon sa palengke, and then they were able to successfully traded that smoke fresh to a bouquet of flowers. And then sakto naman na malapit ng Valentine's Day at that time. And so the students went back to the rice vendor and traded the flower bouquet or that bouquet to a kilo of rice. And they were able to do it, and na-convince nila yung rice vendor na i-trade yun. It's not the items that it's not the items talaga that they were able to trade it, that yung emphasis ng activity, but it's the process, yung learning and analysis, yung critical thinking na ginawa nila on that. They were able to identify and learn and create an archetype of that person, na he is a selfish person and this person loves his wife. Mahal niya yung asawa niya. Probably siya lang iniisip niya sa pang-araw-araw. Imagine, di ba? Random, di ba? Very random na ikipag-trade sa'yo na pinapa, pero yung asawa niya yung naisip niya. So, they were able to understand kung ano yung needs at ano yung wants ng tao na ito, and use that knowledge, ginamit nila yung understanding na yun on thinking of a way on how they were able to get a yes to trade the two items. Okay, so those are the two activities that we do at the beginning of the class, and I'm very excited to do this again because hopefully we can go back to the face-to-face classes so we can do these kinds of activities. Ngayon kasi medyo risky gawin ng mga ito kasi we will be asking our students to go out, diba? And mingle with strangers, pero baka may COVID sila, so or baka mahawa sila sa sakit, so hindi namin ito ngayon pinapagawa. Okay. And then when we are able to discuss, ano yung kasi ng mindset na kailangan nila on this class, it's now time to create, go through the innovation huddle. So when we do the innovation huddle, the first thing that you need to do is to form a team. So kailangan maghanap ka ngayon ng mga possible na mga tao na makatulong sa iyo on building your ideas or creating, a startup or building a startup. In our entrepreneurship class, we normally use the Triple H tag team, the hacker, hustler, and hipster. So doon sa klase namin, we ask them to assess themselves. Saan nga ba ako best? Ako nga ba isang hacker? Am I the person who is very good at building products? I have the knowledge to tinker or to program or develop software or applications or build machines or electronic machineries, or am I the hustler? Kahit ako yung engineering or IT student, I know how to hustle. Medyo business-minded naman ako. I've already done this. As a young person, nagbebenta na po ako ng ganito, or I have experience being sa mga networking ng mga klase ng mga negosyo, or meron po akong parents na may negosyo and isa po ako sa mga nagpapalagad nun. And so maybe you are the hustler, a business lead who makes the sales, who knows how to talk to customers, and then create a business model. He knows how to create a sales pitch, and who can understand the finances. Maybe you are the hustler, or maybe you are a hipster. Um, you know how to design user experience. Alam mo kung anong kailangan ng mga customers nyo, and you know how to translate that need into a product, designing a product. So, but maybe your expertise are on developing a user interface or developing user experience, branding, marketing. So yun yung hipster. And so the students now assess themselves, ano nga ba ako, and then they look for people that they have worked with before na komportable silang kagrupo. Importante na merong harmonious relationship ang mga team members natin, kasi mahirap magtrabaho sa isang team na hindi mo talaga kasundo. So, dapat meron kayong harmonious relationship sa inyong mga teams. Okay, so let's get the vibe from this group of participants natin ngayon. So, tingin ninyo, ano nga ba, can you assess yourself now and share with us kung kayo nga ba ay isang hacker? Am I a hustler? Or am I a hipster? Please share them here sa ating chat. Tingin nyo, kayo ba ay hacker, hustler, or hipster? Let me know sa ating mga, ayan. So si JC, thank you. Si JC ay isang hacker. Si Sir Felix, hustler. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ayan. Madaming hustlers dito. Very nice. Wala bang hipster dyan? Hipster? Kapag okay kasi hustler. Wow. Ang daming hustlers. Nakakatuwa. Thank you po. Thank you sa inyo po mga responses. Let me know if I can hook you up with another hacker or hipster, yung mga hustlers natin dito, and see if we can, baka meron kayong mga mabubuo ng mga startup ideas. Later I'll share kung saan yung mga network activities natin na i-host on upcoming events, on upcoming days. So thank you po. Thank you. So yun, after magkaroon ng mga groupings ng mga students namin, ng mga participants natin, we will now go to the innovation huddle. And 4 phases lang ito. 4 phases, very simple. Ideation, validation, business modeling, and pitching. So very simple. 4 steps lang. Ideation, validation, bago mag-midterms yan. Business modeling and pitching, before the finals. So yun yung ating, that's normally yun yung structure ng curriculum natin. Sorry. So let's go to the ideation stage. So in the ideation stage, in the ideation phase, ito yung time where our students will be identifying a specific community or a specific customer segment. And then they go out, as an assignment, talabas sila ng as an assignment, they do this, outside of the class, and then go to their target customer or target community and conduct interviews or conduct observation, or as we call it, we conduct empathy. We put ourselves into their shoes. We try to understand kung ano yung mga wants and needs ng ating mga customers o ng target customers nila. And we recommend on using the empathy map canvas para may konting structure yung kanilang interview or yung kanilang survey. So para ma-capture talaga natin yung lahat ng pinanggagalingan ng kanilang mga pain and fears and frustrations. So lahat ng yung kailangan ma-capture natin. So dito kailangan natin maintindihan what they do on a daily basis, ano yung mga nakikita nila, ano yung mga sinasabi nila sa kanilang mga constituents, ano yung mga naririnig nila from their constituents, ano yung mga pains, and then what do they want to gain, diba? So trying to understand the pains and the wants of your customers will allow you to create, get insight about who your customers are and what do they need. Ano yung kailangan nila? Ano yung mga problems na experience nila, and how are we going to address the problem? Okay po, so that's the empathy part ng ideation. So trying to understand muna your customers. Then after having a clear understanding of who your customers are, what do they want, what do they need, so kailangan lang natin isulat or ilagay as a reminder, post it man yan, ilagay natin yan sa board, and we write it there, the user needs, or the need statement. And normally ito yung kanyang format. User, kung sino siya, needs a way to, ano kailangan gawin, because of a certain reason. Bakit niya kailangan gawin yun. So, kailangan mayroon tayong ganito. Kailangan mayroon tayong need statement para pag nag-ideation tayo, hindi tayo maliligaw at kung ano-ano pinag-iisip at sinasuggest doon sa ideation part or sa brainstorming part natin. So, kailangan mayroon tayong need statement. And ito yung suggestion ko na kanyang format. Pero hindi naman not necessarily ganyan, pero kailangan ma-capture doon kung ano talaga yung kailangan and bakit niya kailangan yung part na yun. So, kailangan malinaw yun. So, user, it's a way to do something because of a certain reason. So, that's the need statement. And after that, kung meron na tayong isang malinaw na clear on the need statement, we now go to the brainstorming part, wherein students will be contributing different kinds of ideas on how to provide or address that need. So, for example, kung if for example ang target nila ay farmer, the farmer needs a way to increase, gusto niya mag-increase yung kanyang harvest, and mag-increase din yung kanyang profit. So paano mo gagawin? Ano yung iba't ibang mga ideas natin or mga possible solutions on how we can increase the harvest and increase yung kanilang profit. So maraming ideas yan, what we always tell our students kapag nag-brainstorming sila ay do not filter your own ideas. Basta may naisip ka, isulat mo na agad doon sa post-it. Wag mo nang isipin, tama ba yun? Mali ba ito? Maganda kaya ito? Ito kayang pipiliin for this Technopreneurship class? Huwag mo na isipin yan. Basta isulat mo dyan at ilagay mo doon sa ideation board. So just post it there. Post it there. Idikit mo doon. And then later, kapag naipon na natin yung maraming mga ideas, normally we ask our students to post at least 30 ideas, iba't ibang mga ideas. Post it there, and then later on ay pipili tayo ng isang best, if not the best idea, if not the best idea, but the best things about a certain idea. Ano? So we allow our students now to look at their members' ideas, their other members' ideas, hindi mo idea but their other members' ideas. Tingnan nyo kung ano yung nagustuhan ninyo doon sa idea na yun. So you post it there. It's either you put a check mark or you put a star or like naka mo ng sticker na yes, I like this idea or this part of the idea, not the whole idea but just this part of the idea. I like that. Ilagay mo doon, isulat mo na gusto mo yon. And then pag-usapan nyo kung ano yung mga magagandang ideas from the different ideas, kung ano yung mga magagandang part ng ideas na yon, kunin nyo din siya. Maybe you can put them all together and create a very not very big but na pagkasunduan nyo na ito talaga yung gusto natin gawin kasi this came from different contributed. Ito is parang contribution siya ng iba't ibang mga students or iba't ibang mga members niyo. Hindi lang nanggaling sa iyo but it came from the different minds of the groups there, the group members or of the team members. And then after nyo makakuha ng i-discuss ito sa atin, i-discuss ito sa professor na, sir, ito po yung idea namin, ito po yung problem, and this is how we would like to solve it. Isang buong 3-hour session ito na paliwanagan. Parang defense din na konti, pero kasi kailangan binibito namin ito yung mga ideas nila. Kung tama ba yung the process nila, baka may mga na-miss sila. Is this really the right fit? Although it's difficult to decide kung talagang fit yun ngayon kasi you need to also test it. But di ba, may mga ways kasi na nakita mo na parang iyan ba talaga yung kailangan nila, especially if sobrang layo naman noong idea nila from the problem that they're trying to solve. Or baka naman nakita mo na parang sure ba kayo na sila yung may problema niya? Are these the right people? I mean, itong problem nito, ito sila ba talaga yung may problema niya? Or itong mga tao ito ba talaga ang problema niyan? So you also need to veto or the professors would want to know if this statement came from a very considered ba nila yung process. Now, if okay na yung idea sa professor, kung napagkasundan na, sige, ito na yung itutuloy natin na idea. They will be now asked to validate that idea. So meron na tayong unang initial validation dun sa professor, dun sa facilitator. Pero ito, validation ito, not from the professor, but directly from the customers. Ano yung possible na sabihin nila or feedback nila dun sa inyong idea. So we use this experiment board or the Javelin board to construct or create experiments to test whether the idea nila the idea is what do you call this? Parang attractive ba siya? Or may potential talaga siya na ma-solve yung problem ng inyong mga customers. So, dito kailangan isulat lang naman ito for each assumption na gusto mong i-test kung tama or hindi or kung totoo ba or hindi. Kailangan mo tong gawa ng isang experiment. For example, you would like to solve a problem. If you would like to solve a problem being experienced by a 30-year-old woman who just got a baby, ang assumption mo ay kailangan niya ng notification kapag kailangan ng palitan yung diaper ng bata. Kasi hindi mo ang assumption natin, the mothers do not know how to check whether kailangan na magpalitan yung diaper or hindi pa. Yun ang assumption natin. So, ang solution natin is, kailangan mo ng smart diaper na nagsisend ng notification sa iyong mobile application, sa iyong mobile phone, kung kailangan mo ng palitan yung diaper ng iyong anak. That's an initial idea. That's an initial solution. Let's try to test it. So you create a javelin board or experiment. Sige, ang customers natin, 30-year-old women who just got a baby. Ang problem natin, they do not know how to check if they need to change the diaper. So the solution is a smart diaper that provides you with a notification, that gives you a notification if the diaper needs to be changed. And what's the method or process? So kailangan natin pwede natin sabihin na, okay, we need to interview 100 women age 30, under 30s who just got a baby. Is this the riskiest assumption? Yes, it is. That's the riskiest assumption. Na kailangan nila ng smart diaper para ma-notify sila at na kailangan talaga nila ng way para hindi na talaga na alam kung paano check kung kailangan na palitan yung diaper, hindi pa. So very risky. That's a very risky assumption. So we need to check that talaga. And it turned out, so pwede siguro, yung mga estudyante, sige, they go out, they conduct interviews. Ang target nila is, for example, sige, baka 60% man lang ako ng mga customers ko, ng mga target customers ko na magsasabi na, yes, I need a notification. I will pursue this idea. But it turns out, if hindi, then kailangan nila magpalit ng ideas. Okay? So dito kailangan mo so dito sa javelin board, you need to identify kung yung success criterion mo. There is no formula to create a success criteria. It's sinasabi namin based on your confidence ba. So tingin nyo ba, is 50% enough for you to pursue? Is 60% enough for you to pursue? It's up to you, based on your confidence. You can also look at how big is the market, or gaano ba kaliit lang yung market mo? Is it very niche, or are you targeting the public consumer? Yes po. So kailangan nakikita mo na kung gaano kalaki yung market mo dito, and may idea ka na din kung doon sa area ba, kunyari Batanga City, doon ba sa Batanga City accessible ba yung market na yan? Nandito ba yung market na yan? You also need to consider that when you're doing validation. So yun. Thank you, Sir Felix. And then, when you're creating the javelin board or the experiments, so pwede ka actually mamili ng iba't ibang mga experiments. So kanina, nabanggit ko na you can conduct interviews, you go to the customers, and ask them, questions regarding with your, to validate your idea or to validate other assumptions. There is a proper way on conducting interviews. Pero ang like ko lang ine-emphasize is number one, iwasan natin yung mga yes or no or yung mga multiple choice types of interview questions. Mas gusto ko na open-ended questions yung gamitin ninyo. kasi mas marami kasi tayong makukuha insight kapag ina-allow natin yung mga customers natin, yung mga target customers natin to make kwento, na mag-explain, magkwento sila, ibahagi nila yung kanilang experiences or yung kung ano bang tinatanong ninyo. Okay? In that way, hindi natin nai-influensyahan yung kanilang mga sagot kasi you provided options at saka para mas makilala niyo pa talaga. Kasi minsan kapag yes or no yung mga questions, hindi ang bilis, parang yes or no. Hindi mo, baka hindi mo makilala ng ayos yung mga customers mo kapag yes or no questions lang and wala mga open-ended questions. Mas maganda ko yung mga open-ended para makakwentuhan mo sila. Mas maganda kung casual na kwentuhan na. Mas okay yun. Dito sa activity nito na talagang kailangan natin yung mga magaling chumismis. Ayan, sa klase namin. Ikaw ba, magaling ka bang kumunta? Magaling ka bang napagkwentuhan? This is your chance to shine. Contact, interview with your target customers. Meron ba dito Marites? Kung Marites ka, siguro itong part na to, kailangan mong gawin to. Mag-interview para ma-validate mo naman yung iyong na Marites, di ba? And next is yung concierge. Pag concierge, you need to create a very kapag concierge, kailangan mong mag-develop na isang prototype or a low fidelity prototype. A low fidelity prototype. Ibig sabihin ng low fidelity or ibig sabihin ng fidelity doon sa context ng ng prototypes is kapag low fidelity, medyo malayo pa talaga sa katotohanan. Wala pa siyang masyadong user interaction. Pero kapag high fidelity na siya, malapit na siyang i-launch. Malapit na ma-develop yung launch version ng inyong application o ng inyong product. So high fidelity yun. But dito, when we're just validating the product, okay lang na low fidelity. Ano tong mga low fidelity prototype? For example, yung mga tinrawing mo lang sa papel, or yung kung machine man yan na low fidelity, siguro pinafabricate mo lang sa isang fab lab, or it's a miniature model, or it's a model out of inexpensive materials like cartons, na pagdikit-dikit lang from glue or any inexpensive materials. Nakahoy mo lang dyan sa inyong garage, kung may garage tayo. Or doon sa MRF. Kung may MRF, may mga recycled materials na pwedeng gamitin for prototyping, why not? So, pwede po yun. So, that's concierge. Para ito ginagamit itong concierge kapag kailangan mo nang i-validate yung user experience and user interface ng inyong product or services. Para ma-check nyo agad, habang hindi pa high fidelity yung dinidevelop ninyo na product, malaman nyo na agad kung ano yung okay at hindi okay doon sa inyong product. Normally, when we're doing a concierge type of validation, do not ask, kung yung itatanong sa inyong mga customers, for example, gusto mo ba yung product namin or hindi? Again, wag po yes or no. Or bibili ka ba ng ganitong klase ng product? Again, that's not a very good validation question when validating a certain product or service. Mas maganda kung ang tanong nyo is yung may makakuha ka na feedback. Like for example, what do you like about this product? Ano nagustuhan mo dito? If you would be given a chance na baguhin or may palitan dito sa product na ito, how will it differ? Kaya, di ba? So, paano nyo papalitan yun? In a way, parang kumukuha ka na rin ng idea sa iyong mga customers kung anong gusto nila doon sa product mo, di ba? And nakakuha ka na rin ng mga ideas on how you can um, tweak your product to satisfy the want and the needs of your customers. Ano? Again, yung kanilang feedback is what always matters to us kasi I always tell my students na the very reason why most startups fail is because they forget to involve the very important people that matter, that are their customers. So those are their customers. So make sure that you're always engaging with your customers, getting feedback from your customers. Ano? Kasi kung hindi, you're bound to fail. Ano? If you're not getting feedback from your customers. And lastly, we have another strategy on creating or validating your product is ito, landing page, emails, or cold calls. It you normally ginagawa ngayon ng mga students namin to see if there is traction, kung magkakaroon talaga ng traction. If there are people who are really interested, create ka ng Facebook page and then mag-post ka ng mga things about the product or services and see if you can get engagement. See if people will be trying to comment on those products and trying to understand rin kung ano yung mga needs and wants nila from those comments and from those engagements, di ba? Para magkaroon ka rin ng idea. Uy, may mga tao pala talaga na interested. May mga tao na nangangailangan nito. So, it's a good way din, wala ka masyadong ginastos doon sa pag-create ng Facebook page, pero makakuha ka ng insight from your customers. Sorry. And next, out of that, ito na-share ko na kanina. Depending on the success criteria, you will pivot or pursue. If you were not able to satisfy yung sinet mo na criteria, success criteria, then you need to pivot. So babalik ka ngayon doon sa ideation stage and see if i-check natin yung ibang mga ideas na na-post natin before, pag-usapan natin during the brainstorming, na baka ito yung kailangan nila. So you pivot. Kung na-meet naman niya yung success criteria, then that's the time that you can pursue. When we say pursue, sige, continue developing the product and continue engaging with your customers. Ito yung nakakalimutan ng mga students namin na once na nilang ginagawa yung validation. Hindi po. It's an iterative process. Siguro yung first run is to validate the idea, and then the second run, validating the product. The third one, yung masusunod na mga validation ninyo will be about yung sunod na topic natin, which is the business model. So lahat ng aspect about the business model, you also need to validate it. Okay. So yan, dito na tayo sa business modeling. So before we move to the business modeling, our students will be submitting their first we call it as the midterm pitch. So yung midterm pitch yun is ngayon kasi dahil pandemic, it's a recorded 3-minute video discussing about what's the problem they're trying to solve, who are the customers that they are engaging, what's the solution, and what's the product that they are offering, what's the product or service that they will be offering to address that solution or address that problem. So hanggang doon lang, yung midterm pitch. Then after the midterm pitch, siyempre kami mga professors will be providing comments and suggestions on how to improve the product or services. And then after that, we move on to the next topic, which is about the business modeling. So ito talaga malayo na to sa engineering or sa IT or CS. Siguro to hindi talaga to tinuro sa kanila. I don't know. Siguro sa industrial engineering tinuturo yung business modeling kasi you do feasibility study if I'm not mistaken. But for the other engineering courses, siguro noon hindi ito parang itinuturo. So ngayon, we have a Technopreneurship class that teaches them how to create a business model for their chosen venture idea. So just very quickly, kung ano ba naman itong business model? Meron ba ako dito, Wala. Okay, sorry. Okay, so, sorry. So, meron pong nag-annotate. Okay, so here we have 9 blocks of the business model. So first we have the value proposition. So yung value proposition, ito yung mga benefits na nakukuha mo out of using the product or the service. And then on its left side, you'll see, on the right side, you'll see here everything about the customers. And then on the left side, you'll see here the things that you need to do to deliver the value proposition to the customer. So that's the business model canvas. Let's go through them one by one. So again, the value proposition is the benefits, ano yung makukuha ng inyong mga customers, ano yung mag-gain ng inyong mga customers out of using the product or service. Dito po yung nakalagay sa value proposition. And then dito sa customer segments, you define here kung sino ang mga customers mo. Dito sa customer segments, kailangan mo i-define dalawang klase ng tao. The customer and the user. Normally kasi, or minsan, the customer is the same with the user. And there are also times that the customer is different from the user. For example, cell phone companies. Mobile phone manufacturers. For example, iPhone. So, ako as a professional, I am identified as a customer at the same time a user. I am a customer kasi ako yung bumili ng iPhone, and user kasi ako din yung gumagamit ng iPhone. Okay? So yun yung instance na parehas na customer or parehas na customer at user, yung isang tao. Pwede rin naman na, for example, ako parent ako, and then meron akong anak na nag-aaral. Gusto ko siyang ipili ng isang laptop or a tablet or an iPad para makatulong sa pag-aaral niya. So, customer, ako yun. Kasi ako yung bumili ng iPad or ng laptop. Sino yung user? Yun yung anak ko. Okay? So, sa pagkakataong yun, magkaiba yung customer at yung user. So, you need to understand sometimes sino ang customer, sino ang user. Sino ang nagbabayad ng product or service, sino ang gagamit ng product or service. Kasi minsan magkaiba sila ng archetype. At kahit sa pagde-develop and also when you're developing products, you need to conduct different interviews kasi you have different assumptions also about those two types of people, the customer and the user. Anyway, that's a different discussion. Pero actually mahabang discussion about sa yung customer segment. Customer discovery, medyo mahaba discussion. Anyway, and then next we have the customer relationships. So on this block, you would like to identify yung mga strategies on how you will Number 1, create customers. Number 2, gain more customers. And number 3, maintain your customers. Ano? So as you are creating, gaining more, and maintaining loyalty to you ng inyong mga customers. So ano-ano yung mga strategies mo para ma-attain mo yun. So sa umpisa, siguro, ang mga strategies mo ay to create that customer or to create that market. If that market is not yet existing, you need a strategy to create that market. And then how do you gain more? So you also need to create a different strategy on that. And how do you maintain these customers? Paano sila pagbabalik-balik sa'yo? So that's also a different strategy. And the next dito is yung channel. So the channel provides us kung ano yung ways or how can your customers reach you. Where can your customers buy your products? Where can your customers avail your services? Okay? So dito mo nilalagay sa channels. So marami tayong klase ng mga channels. Meron tayong mga physical channels like yung mga physical store na doon mo lang mabibili yung mga products. So meron din tayong mga virtual na mga channels. For example, meron kang online store. We have an e-commerce site. Ayan. So, yun naman yung iba naman yun doon sa physical na mga stores o physical na mga channels mo. Meron din tayo tinatawag ng mga ikaw mismo yung may-ari ng channel or pwede kang makipag-partner sa isang company who will distribute your product or services. And it's also another distribution channel or it's another channel din. And then lastly dito sa inyong customer side, this is a customer side ng business model is the revenue streams. So depending on kung ano-ano yung inyong mga product or services na ino-offer, how are you profiting from those products or services? So marami tayong iba't ibang mga revenue streams. Meron tayong tinatawag na asset sale. So sabihin ng pag sinabi mo asset sale, you're giving them the license to own that product but not manufacture it or distribute it. Or meron din tayong tinatawag na recurring sales or recurring sales streams wherein nagbabayad monthly ang inyong customers to avail your service. For example, Netflix. Netflix is a kind of subscription. Ito, mas magandang example ito eh. For example, ay Microsoft Office. So dati, ang Microsoft Office ay asset sale siya. So bibili ka ng installer. So punta ka sa isang store, bili ka ng installer ng Microsoft Office and then install mo doon sa iyong PC, yung Microsoft Office. That's asset sale. Ngayon, bukod sa asset sale, meron na rin silang subscription base na yung kanilang Microsoft 365, 360 ba 365, I'm not sure, but or is it just Microsoft Office or Windows? Nakalimutan ko na kung anong bagong tawag ngayon sa office ng Microsoft, but subscription based siya na binabayaran mo annually. And then meron ka pang mga perks that you receive out of paying for that monthly subscription, annual subscription. For example, meron kang 1 terabyte na OneDrive subscription. Okay? So yun. It's a two business model. It's a two different revenue streams. So in our class, you also need to identify kung paano ka magiging sustainable. So ano yung mga iba't ibang mga revenue streams para masustain mo yung inyong mga expenses and ma-provide mo yung service mo in the long term. So paano? How are you going to deliver the value proposition to your customer? So we go to the left half of this business model where you discuss naman the different key activities. So ano yung mga activities na kailangan mong gawin para ma-achieve mo to. So syempre meron ka diyang product development, there's also marketing, there's also sales, there's IT protection. So you just need to put here kung ano yung mga activities na critical na magawa mo para ma-deliver mo yung product or service. Okay? And then syempre, kung meron ka mga kailangan gawin, mga activities, kailangan gawin ng mga activities, like for example, kailangan mo mag-produce, you need to manufacture this device. So kailangan mo ng mga resources. So ano yung mga resources na yun? So pwede siyang may mga equipments ka, may mga raw materials ka, you have human resources, you have financial resources, syempre kailangan mo ng capital para mabili yung mga devices, yung mga equipments na yun o yung mga raw materials na yun. So doon mo siya ilalagay sa key resources. And then you can also having understood those activities and resources na kailangan mo, syempre may cost po yun. That will entail cost. So lahat ng activities na gagawin mo, lahat ng resources na kailangan mong bilhin, meron siyang cost na kaakibat. Yan, kailangan mo siyang i-identify dito. So meron tayong tinatawag na mga initial expenses na ito yung kailangan mong gastusin. Initially, pag nagtayo ka ng isang negosyo, for example, yung mga business permits, o yung iba't ibang klase ng mga accreditation na kailangan mo to put up the business and continue providing the service. Meron din man tayong mga recurring expenses. For example, rentals ng office, rentals ng o yung mga utilities mo like kunyari kuryente, tubig, internet, that's also a recurring expense. Equipment sa kailangan mo, initial yon na expenses or cost. Initial cost yon. For example, yung mga infrastructure, yung equipment sa kailangan mong bilhin para ma-produce mo yung mga product services, initial cost yun. So, yun, kailangan mo siyang i-identify dito. And then, dito naman, lastly, is the key partners. Sino-sino yung pwede mong makatulong para magawa mo yung activities na ito, makuha mo yung mga resources, and ma-deliver ang product or service na ito sa iyong mga customers. So, that's how you will identify kung sino yung mga customers. So, pwede makatulong sa inyo sa ganong mga activities or sa inyong mga matters pa. We also, although itong part na ito, hindi na namin talaga ito naabot kasi medyo mahaba discussion. Pero just very quickly, kung paano titingnan ng mga estudyante yung kanilang runway. So dito, in-explain namin kung ano yung burn rate. So for example, meron silang investment na natanggap. So kailangan gumagastos ka talaga efficiently you're making gastos of the investment para makuha mo, makapag-create ka ng customers, gain more customers, and keep your customers loyal to you. And keep, itong mga recurring expenses mo ma-cover noon. So you also need to understand kung paano nga ba yung cash flow ninyo, kung annual basis, kung annual yung subscription. Hindi naman pwede na lahat ng customers mo sabay-sabay, di ba? Na January. So, ibig sabihin maghihintay ka pa ng January para may dumating na pera. So, syempre dapat balansehin mo yung mag-strategize ka on paano may mag-register ng January, ng February, March, April, May. Para naman yung cash flow mo ay monthly, di ba? O pwede ka mag-offer ng monthly subscription para every month may ma-receive ka na revenue. So kailangan mo yung isipin or strategize para ma-sustain mo yung operations ng inyong business. So yun, dito, kailangan lang pag-usapan yung maigi dito. Mahabang discussion ito actually. This will take like 2 to 3 weeks to cover all of the business model canvas. And mabilis kailangan i-validate din ito. Babalik ka sa mga customers mo or you go to your partners and validate itong inyong business model. And after that, we go to the pitching part. Okay, ito isa sa mga exciting part talaga ng aming Technopreneurship class kasi towards the end of the course or the program, we're organizing a Technovation Summit where students can showcase yung mga venture ideas nila that come from the Technopreneurship class. And dito kami pumipili ng mga startup ideas that can be brought to the incubator. So during this stage, we're teaching the students on how to pitch their ideas. There are 2 kinds of pitches that they should learn how to do. We have the elevator pitch and the pitch deck. Do sa elevator pitch, paano mo siya tinawag na elevator pitch? Ang scenario kasi is you bump into a possible investor or a possible partner sa elevator, and you have very short time to explain and to get the attention of that investor. So dito sa elevator pitch, ito lang yung 4 na things that you need to discuss. Who you are, what do you do, what you want, what they need to do. So you need to say these things very quickly bago siya lumabas ng elevator or makarating doon sa floor kung saan siya bababa. Okay? So that's the elevator pitch. Normally, mga nasa 60 to 90 seconds lang ang elevator pitch. Okay? So, kailangan clear, concise itong mga gusto mo sabihin sa kanya para may makuha ka ng business card. Kasi pag nakatanggap ka ng business card, sinabihan ka, okay, let's discuss this some other time. Maybe I can invite you to my office. So yun, di ba? You are now get the chance to explain more about your business or about your startup. So dito kailangan mo na mag-prepare ng pitch deck. Minsan may prepare ka na talaga. You're just looking for an investor. So here, in a pitch deck, you need it's a PowerPoint presentation that discusses about more details about your startup. So what's the problem you're solving? What's the solution to that problem? What's the product that you're offering or service that you're offering to address that problem? What's the market size? What's your business model? What's the underlying magic? Sinong competition mo? Why are you better than them? What's different? What sets you apart from this existing competition? What's your go-to market plan? Who are your teammates? And what's the current traction? Or ano yung mga milestones ninyo? Normally, itong mga pitch decks na ito will be presented on siguro mga 3 to 5 minutes. Kasi minsan gano'n na talaga kadali or kaiikli yung oras na ipoprovide sila ng mga investors ninyo. And if you have watched, some of the pitching reality shows like Shark Tank or Dragon Den, or sa Philippines yung The Final Pitch. So meron silang ito. After the pitch deck, may Q&A portion where talaga tatanungin ka talaga about. Ayan. Yes po, tama. Sobrang nakaka-inspire yung mga shows ito. I really recommend you kung talagang gusto nyo ma-experience or kahit makita man lang what's really happening sa startup ecosystem. Especially kapag kailangan you are looking for a very big investment, you watch this reality shows. Sobrang ganda. Okay. Okay. So after the students have gone through, so you are students natin or yung students ng Technopreneurship class. So meron silang final demo day. Yung recent namin na demo day was during the Inclusive Innovation Conference that we held last May 25 to 26. Pero yung demo day ng mga students namin, more particularly my class and then some of the students we invited from the other colleges, nasa 5th floor sila ng Stair Hub. Siguro roughly mga 27 students yung showcase na kanilang mga startup ideas. And during that time, we invited participants of the IIC to go to the exhibit and learn more about the ideas that our students are developing from their Technopreneurship class. So yung mga visitors namin that time were mga members or mga representatives from different business chambers, DTI, DOST, representatives, mga representatives from different state universities and colleges, and mga professionals din, mga startups na rin, we're able to roam around and see what our students have done with their Technopreneurship class. According to our students, after the exhibit, it was very fulfilling. And tuwan-tuwa sila kasi they were able to get a lot of feedback from a lot of people. Hindi man siguro directly from the customers. Siyempre, for example, yung iba doon, ang target talaga nila ng mga farmers, for example. Pero may mga nakausap sila ng mga experts din sa farm or sa agriculture that provided some insight about the product or services na pinoprovide nila. So, still very fruitful pa din, and students get the experience on how to talk to people, explaining or pitching their ideas, to different kinds of people. Hindi lang kami. It's also a good experience kasi it's not a curated experience. Kasi hindi mo talaga alam kung pwede tanong sa'yo ng mga taong ito. Very random talaga. So, it was a very good experience din talaga for our students to be able to present and communicate their ideas to different kinds of people. So, from there pa lang, very, very, very happy na kami doon that we're able to impart that kind of experience to our students. And hopefully, magdala nila yung experience na yun sa kanilang future workplace and magkaroon sila ng lakas ng loob na mag-build na sarili ng startup. Okay, so in CTI, na-mention na namin kanina, we provide a lot of services. And so, number one dyan, of course, is education. So kami yung nagtuturo ng Technopreneurship class. We also train our faculty members to how to teach Technopreneurship or how to facilitate Technopreneurship. We provide mentoring sa lahat ng mga startups who will be going to our place or availing our services. We provide them with mentors. Actually, Sir Felix is one of our mentors also. And we invite different kinds of industry experts and schedule a mentoring session with our startups. We also provide technical services. Konti pa lang, kasi we're from the university. So mostly yung technical services namin ay IP protection, identifying yung mga different kinds of intellectual properties from your venture idea, and then help you protect them and apply for example, a patent, apply trademark for your logos or service marks for your services. Ano pa ba? Help you register your startup sa SEC or sa DTI. Register your business mo. Ano yung mga legal words? So we also provide that kind of service. We also provide exposure. So for example, yung mga startups natin, pinapadala natin sila sa iba't ibang mga conferences o mga exhibits para may ma-meet sila ng mga possible partners nila and customers. So exposure. Hindi lang ito local. Pag may mga opportunities, we send our startups to abroad, like in Singapore and Indonesia, to attend some business matching opportunities. Also networking, syempre. Ito for example, yung exhibit na kinoconduct namin is also a form of networking na din kasi may nakikilala sila ibang mga possible partners or startups. And meron din mga chances na we host certain events where different kinds of people we're able to get the chance to mingle and know each other and identify kung ano yung mga similarities nila or mga similar interests nila na pwedeng can spur an idea and baka pwedeng magkaroon ng isang startup or venture idea doon. We also provide funding. Okay, as mentioned kanina, the university provides 50,000 to 500,000 worth of seed capital. If you need more than 500,000, we can connect you with yung sa ibang mga national government agencies that provides startup grants, like for example DOST, DTI, and NEDA and DICT. They have startup grant fund program. And also, kung syempre maliit lang din naman yung kanila, normally for product development, pero kung kailangan mo ay funding for lead generation na and talagang commercialization na ng iyong product. So siguro sa mga private investors na, sa mga angel investors namin yung ilan namin. So and then incubation, of course, everything packaged on incubation program. Okay po. So here in South Luzon, there are actually many technology business incubators. I'm not sure with the other regions, but I think we have, well, not compared to the NCR, kasi NCR na sila. But outside NCR, I think South Luzon has the most technology business incubators. We have one in Cavite. We have 4 in Laguna. Ayan, 4. UP Los Baños, De La Salle University Laguna Campus, DOST FPRDI APBI, and the LSPU APBI. Diba? Dami. Here in Batangas, we have 3. Bat State U, CTI, De La Salle Lipa, Next Innovation Labs, and Brain Sparks in Palawan. We have one in Palawan, which is the PSU PITB, and we have one in Bicol, which is the Bicol University City Delhi. There are more TBIs coming to be being established right now in Calabarzon and in Maropa. I know University of Batangas has plans to create their own TBI. We have one there's Mindoro State University who's also plans. There's another TBI, ATBI in Palawan, yung Western Philippines University. Hindi pa namin sila number, pero it's also another TBI. There's another one in Bicol na we're also supporting them and providing assistance on how they can create or establish their own TBI. So Calabarzon is also very rich on different kinds of industries, you know. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, pero di ba parang Silicon Valley na yung ating Cavite, Laguna, kasi marami talaga dyan mga manufacturing electronics companies dyan, ano, sa Laguna, Cavite, and even here in Lima, in Santo Tomas, ano, may mga electronics companies tayo dyan, and different kinds of industries. So, we're very, very fortunate na nandidiyan lang sila, no, na pwede makatulong sa atin to validate our ideas and and makakuha tayo ng mga experts from them on how we can successfully launch yung mga startups natin. Okay. So thank you very much for listening to this webinar. Maraming pong salamat sa 26 na kumapit sa ating webinar this evening. If you have questions po, please chat them here po sa ating chat box, or you can contact us here po sa Pasig CTI. That's our contact numbers, or you can email us, or please, you can also visit us sa aming office. Sa second floor kami na Steer Hub, Batanga State University, Alangitan Campus. Sa loob lang po yan ng Golden Country Homes. 20 sa YouTube. Naku, maraming salamat po, Sir Felix.
All right. So, wow, that was an amazing almost 2 hours learning session from Sir Jigs.
Sorry, ang haba
of course of the okay lang kasi we're, as you mentioned, the center plans to train 1,000 students, right, in the fields of technopreneurship, and this could be their starting point, since the content was really, I'm actually not expecting that comprehensive content, kasi parang sabi ko introduction, pero attentively listening, you can really get a lot of things like the stories and the tools and techniques. So it's like a very comprehensive introduction course. So as mentioned, this will be available at Speech Digital, our own version of learning management system. So if you have friends and peers and classmates, for those students, either your undergraduate students or graduate students that would be interested, so this will be available in the next couple of weeks to come. And yan, so si Sir Jigs yung marinig nyo doon, pero recorded na. Yan. So at least tayo dito, we can have the luxury to ask questions, and we don't want to stall you anymore, but we still have 9 minutes to maybe to accommodate like 1 or 2 questions for Sir Jigs.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Pasensya na po, hindi ko napansin yung
yeah, okay lang.
Almost 2 hours. I'm planning just an hour of webinar. Nagulat ako, it's 8:50 na pala. Napadami aking kwento.
Okay lang, sir, kasi at least you were able to really translate that into something that's value to our audience. Yan. Sige, any questions that you might have right now? So ako siguro ang key takeaway ko is, I'm quite familiar with the process, and as mentioned by Sir Jigs, we're actually brewing something in partnership with CTI, by the way, as like Speech Academy and CTI. So we were entering into an agreement to provide more value-adding courses to you guys, for those who are interested, people who would want to shift to being technopreneurs. So I think kanina you mentioned also, if let's say for example we're like a hustler, and yung walang masyadong hacker, walang masyadong hipster, is there like a way for us to be connected? I mean, is this through the center that we would like sign up for parang pooling, na parang pag may nangailangan ng members, industry members, and there's like a hackathon or maybe call for innovation proposals, is this something that you support as a center?
Yes po, sir. Actually, noon, we encourage our students to para mag-invite sila ng mga experts from outside the class po. Kasi hindi kasi lahat makukuha nila from the from the school. Especially yung ibang mga emerging technology na wala pa sa loob ng university yung mga experts. For
Right.
example, experts sa blockchain, baka wala pa. So baka may kilala sila na expert sa labas. Pwede nila yung isama as a group or teammate nila sa kanilang startup. So pwede po yun.
Right. So if there are like people who are interested to, to venture into something like this is not a new space, but is a really an emerging space and trend right now. But siguro just to put my 2 cents, it would be better if we could develop like those pool of mentors or industry partners. And maybe that's gonna be can be one of your projects moving forward, right? Like may meron lang listahan, they can actually there's maybe a page or I don't know, like a website that they can contact these people who are willing to participate, 'di ba? You mentioned about blockchain, yung mga NFTs na ganyan. So, di ba maganda yun na they can actually loop themselves to these people. Yeah, but thank you for sharing that information, Sir Jigs.
Yes po. If you're looking for a mentor, you can also look at linkcalabarzon.com.
All right.
Meron po dyan listahan ng
All right.
mga mentors natin from Calabarzon.
Nice.
Provided po ito ng DTI. Came from DTI po. From their Mentor Me program tsaka po yung teams.
So Mentor Me is from the parang Go Negosyo din siya, di ba?
Yes sir, Go Negosyo.
Go Negosyo by DTI, if I'm not mistaken. Great. Yeah, thank you for dropping that link. So baka may interested sa inyo, please don't hesitate to contact Sir Jigs if you would want to connect further. But at least networking is really a powerful skill. So I would highly encourage you to network with Sir Jigs. Okay. What other questions do you have? Kasi we still have, we only have 5 minutes and we have some post-roll or post-credits to complete pa. Parang they can't even ask any question since it's really a really comprehensive one na na discussion, and I salute you for that. Super galing. Anyways, so before we let you go, again, thank you, Sir Jigs, for saying yes and for doing this very comprehensive learning session, an introduction to Technopreneurship. We learned a lot. Myself, I learned and I had some very great key takeaways and learnings from this. So before I let you go for the meantime, can you, if you have something to promote or to give our audience your final takes for this evening, please do so.
Yes, sir. So again, thank you po for providing the platform po to share our platform po to share our center po sa mga sa inyo po mga taga-subaybay po dito sa Alpha TV. And please abangan niyo po yung iba't iba namin mga awareness and knowledge and training programs po na hinuhost po namin sa aming page. You can search lang po yung BAT State U Center for Technopreneurship and Innovation sa Facebook. Madalas pa kami, halos every month, meron kami mga webinars po. Also, you can search lang din po yung Link Calabarzon at Link Calabarzon. Ito, tsaka po yung Icons South Luzon. Ayan po, sa Facebook page po, abangan niyo po yung iba't ibang mga webinars po namin dyan. Iba't mga announcements related po sa startup ecosystem. Thank you, sir.
All right. Again, let's give Sir Jigs a round of virtual applauses before he leaves. Thank you, Sir Jigs, and we'll talk again next week for some other projects, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Right, so that was Sir Jigs Esguerra for the introduction to Technopreneurship. And konti na lang to, no? Konting-konti na lang to. Very, the usual things. Yeah, for those who are new in this particular setup, we'll be giving away, of course, e-certificates. There will be an attendance stake that will be given after the promotions of some of our programs. And the attendance link or the evaluation form link will be available only after within the 30 minutes or within 30 minutes after the end of this particular session. So please do like our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, and our YouTube channel. That is all in all Aslex Page Academy. And please don't forget to check our learning management system or Alpha Digital at aslexpeach.com. We also have upcoming programs. We have our Lean Six Sigma programs that's actually starting tomorrow. We have our self-paced programs or e-learning programs hosted at Aslex Speech Academy digital or alpha aslexspeech.com. We have our Greenbelt program starting this July. I mean, this will be covered within the entire month of July. We have the self-paced version of that. We also have an upcoming Agile Scrum Foundations professional certification that's going to be on July 2 and 3. We also have our Lean Six Sigma Black Belt that's still on sale up until June 30. We have our Data Science with Python, which leads to your Alpha Certified Data Analyst title. That's going to be happening on the entire month of July. We also have our Project Management Fundamental Certification happening on June 25. Our Alpha Certified Kaizen Professional will happen this July 30 and 31. And our Certified Internal Quality Auditor will happen on July 2 up until July 23 every Saturdays of the month of July. And of course, data visualization using Tableau, which will happen June 26. This is not updated yet, but it's going to happen June 26. Will be facilitated by one of our, of course, our COO and our GSDC certified data science professional engineer Jojo Paliso. And from all of those programs, you can avail it at probably about another 20% off if you join as a group of 5, but you will only pay for only 4 packs. We are actively looking for partners. Either this is for organizations. So if your organization would like to partner with us, just like CTI with the leadership of Sir Jigs, we are open for partners, and we are open also for individual people who would want to join our team as ambassadors. So you can visit aslexpage.com/courses for free learning sessions coming from Alpha TV and other learning platforms that we are hosting. And there are also free certifications like the free white belt certification that you can take. So our friends from iExcel is inviting you to join their online CIE review. So this is not updated, but the season for this review program has been opened. So you can visit them at aslexspeech.com/courses and just search for iExcel. Also, our friends from Farmbox is inviting you to visit their page and their website at farmboxonline.com, and also Grace Apparel. They have their Shopee and Lazada shops and their Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest sites. And this is a new partnership. We are now an official partner of the Startup Podcast PH. So if you're into podcasts and if you're into startups, so you might want to visit their channel at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even on YouTube. So we'll be this is ended the Independence Day sale, but we will be having a Father's Day 1-day sale again on June 26th. If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be a Sunday. So please watch out for it for those interested individuals. And of course, last, right? So you may now take a screenshot of this so that you have a reference. So please make sure that you are able to complete this form so that you'll get your e-certificates. Okay. So I'm typing this also in our YouTube channel, but this will only be effective and open within the next 30 minutes. So please make sure that you are able to complete this evaluation form. So with that, thank you again, everyone, for joining us this evening for the introduction to entrepreneurship with, of course, the center head of BSU CTI, none other than Sir Jigs Esguerra. So let's see each other again next Friday, because we'll be having a great learning session coming from what do you call this? Someone that is outside from the Philippines. an expert on lean innovation cycle, Michael Perrin. So please watch out for that, and let's continue to be hashtag significantly better together. Thank you guys, and keep safe. Bye.